Hey YouTube, welcome to another Invictus outdoor video. As you can see, I've still got a lot of packing to do, but I'm going to take a short break and make a quick video about leaving a trip plan. Now, trip plans are really good. Plan B goes a long way into getting you out of a situation once you become lost or stuck or what have you. A lot of people kind of don't do it. They think they'll be okay. They're only going out for an overnight trip or 2-3 nights. But if you watch the movie 127 Hours, you can kind of see how, it can end up pretty bad for you if nobody knows where you are and where you're going to be back. It doesn't take too much equipment, it doesn't take too much time, and you don't have to go writing a big blog or essay of where you're going to be. So things that you're going to need, a map goes a long way into providing a good amount of detail of where you're going to be when. I then take the map, I scan it into my computer, but I have used my iPhone and also iPad to take a photo of the map and then trace over that inside a paint program inside the iPad. And then I just kind of leave a few details, what tracks I'm taking, more specifically which track on what day, if it's a multi-day trip, where I plan to camp, more or less, when I'm going to be due back. And also another quite important one is medical conditions, especially if those medical conditions require you to take certain medications, say for example insulin for diabetes. Now, compile all that into a really simple document which I'll show you in a second, and I just email it to my fiance or my parents, and from that point on, if anything happens, if they don't hear back from you within a certain period of time, they can pass that information on to the rescuers. The rescuers can then narrow the search down and hopefully find you a lot sooner. And if you do have any medical conditions which require specific medications, they can get you those before it's too late. So let me show you an example of a document that I've created, and we'll kind of talk it over and you'll see how simple it is. So this is a trip plan that I've used beforehand, that I've left with my significant other in case something went wrong, and I'm just going to shoot over the details with what's in it. As you can see, there's not much to it, and that's the way I kind of like to keep it, so it makes things pretty simple. It's pretty easy to do. So straight at the top you have here the basic title, so hiking trip April 2013. You've got now the important stuff, so your departure date, yeah, that's kind of important. Why not? And also your return date, so that's kind of the biggie. Now, I kind of give a morning, afternoon, or evening return time, and after that return time, she knows that she's going to wait about another 12 hours to hear from us. If nothing is heard after that 12 hours, that's when she'll be contacting somebody. How detailed you want to go with the return time, whether you just want to leave a date, whether you want to kind of give a morning, afternoon, evening, or down to the hour, that's up to you. And once again, I would kind of suggest talking to whoever you're leaving this with to work out a window in which after that point in time you want them to contact somebody, whether it be straight away, so your return time is 2 p.m, they don't hear from you after 2 p.m, so 2 p.m. rocks around and still nothing, 2:30 rocks around, nothing, that's when they're going to contact somebody. Or whether you tell them, okay, give me a 12-hour window, which is what we've kind of set up. Obviously, trips don't always go to the exact plan, so it's important to kind of establish that, so they're not calling emergency rescue services, the very second that you're over your return time. Next up, we've got our location. So the location kind of narrows down. It starts really broad, so you've got here the Outremer region. Now, that's kind of for the rescuers to straight away know where we are very roughly, so they know the location of the units that they want to scramble. So obviously this was down south, there's no point contacting the northern kind of units and telling them, hey, listen, we've got somebody lost, we need your help. They know straight away, okay, what kind of units have we got around in the Outremer region, let's get onto them and sort that out. Now, obviously, they might be using their own maps, navigational tools, etc. Here in Australia, we've got kind of a standard mapping system, if you will. So the map that I've used is listed here. This was, I think, a map that I took a photo of with my iPad and then used like the paint program to trace in where we're going to be. So as you can see, if you look at the map, it's not overly detailed with contours and you can hardly read what's on the map, but using the reference here, they can pull up that map from the notes, and also what you can see here, they can match up exactly where this is, and then they can kind of narrow their search down that way. So whatever map you're using, I definitely recommend listing the name of that map or the reference or whatever it's called, so they can pull up that exact document. Next up, you've got the rough trip notes, and as you can see, they are super rough. It's literally a couple of sentences. I just list, where we're going to be camping, junctions of rivers and trails that we're going to be turning on and off, what day we're going to be where. So, descend into the creek from the clearing. We're going to camp at the junction of a Tremor Creek. The following day we're going to go downstream. We might do a side trip. On the final day we're going to head out via Howard's Pass and make our way to another clearing, and then we're going to walk back to where the car is in that other clearing. So that's really, really, really simple, really basic. You don't need to write an essay, but the beauty of it is when you take the map, it's really easy to kind of piece the story together. So with this, like I mentioned, I didn't scan it in. I just took a photo and used the program in my iPad to trace over where we're going. And that's all you really need, is kind of a rough guide. So the other thing that you see here is the 3 different colors and the circles. So very easy to match up to the notes. What means what. You can leave a key if you really, really want, but it's not too hard to figure out from the notes. So this is where we left the car, we went into the creek, we camped here the first night, we went up here, this is the second day, we camped here, we might have done a side trip on the second day, and then we went out on the third day this direction and back to the car. Now the reason why I think it's really important to highlight the different days where you plan to be on the different days, because let's say on a trip where you might have reception, where you might be able to get in contact with people, with your partner, friends, what have you. They know, say, you've been in touch, sending a message, sending a photo or whatever on the first day, so they know you're safe, you're fine. Second day rolls around, you say a good morning text, send them a good morning text on the start of the second day, so you're in this area here, and then from that point on they don't hear from you. So to the rescuers, your partner or your friend or whoever you left this with can say, listen, I was in contact with them on the first day, this is where they were on the first day, they sent me a message at the start of the second day, but then I didn't hear from them. So this would be a great place to start looking. This is where I last heard from them. This was their planned route on the second day, but again, then they do their job. So I do recommend leaving a color-coded or color-coding the days where you're going to be on what day. It just makes life a little bit easier for everyone. So, that's it. Not the only way to do this. Based on the kind of reading, the research, my experience, the people I've talked to that are also in the emergency services, they like this kind of setup, this kind of information. It's basic, it's brief, it's to the point. But again, most important thing is you leave some information, even if it's where you're going to be, the rough area, and what day you're due back. That's a good start. So I hope this has helped you and given you some ideas. If you do have any questions, let me know. But as always, thanks for watching.